It was first stop for Belfast for the House of Commons Treasury Committee this morning as it embarked on a series of public meetings outside London. It is part of the committee's inquiry into the banking crisis. The committee heard evidence from a range of business representatives, lobby groups and individual savers in the Senate chamber. Local businessman Jim Pattison told the committee if he could not get finance from the banks soon, he would struggle to feed his family.
My name is Jim Pattison and I'm just a local businessman, and my concerns are basically financial concerns, the same as everybody else in this room. This gentleman here, sorry I forgot your name, you have said about it's a banking crisis. It's not purely a banking crisis, it's a crisis full stop. I have been struggling now since October or even before October with finances. I have written to Gordon Brown. I have also written to Alistair Darling. I have written to our own minister here, Nigel Dodds. The replies I have received have been very, very negative. And scripture has been quoted by Gordon Brown and some other people about the Good Samaritan and so on and so forth. But I mean, this is just the same thing. I'm concerned that this is only going to be a talking shop. You know, I have written to all these people, and I want you to see my face now. It's my face, and I want you to listen to my concerns. I have just brought home not a terminally ill mother, but a mother who is aging, 86 years of age. I am struggling to keep my own business going. I now have her in my own house permanently. I don't know where the next loaf of bread's going to come from. I don't know where the heating's going to come from. I don't know where anything's going to come from, because it is a dire situation, and it's not just a banking problem. It's an all-round problem, and I am here to tell you of my problems. And I want to say, look again, please look at my face and see my needs as I present them to you, and see what you can do for me. I have been to the bank. The bank doesn't want to know. 14 years ago, come June, I came out of work for 3.5 years due to an almost fatal accident. I got into financial difficulties. I got out of those difficulties. My record is not squeaky clean. Therefore, the bank doesn't want to know me. And I have approached the bank, and the bank says, we don't know. We haven't heard from the government. We don't know. The bank that likes to say yes is now saying no. Thank you.
Michael wants to ask you a question, Jim.
Well, first of all, we are here to listen to you directly. But I would like to ask you a question. One of the criticisms, certainly on the mainland, has been there have been a number of announcements and schemes, but they don't seem yet to be getting through to businesses like yours on the ground. Here, you've had a number of schemes as well, as I understand it, rate relief and so on. What is the scheme, or what is the pressure on the banks that would most help you and businesses like you? What is it that could be done now that is not being done? Sorry to put it back to you, but that's what we want to hear.
Well, basically, I need finance to keep everything afloat. It's that simple. I need finance. Where's the finance come from? I think the government was underwriting the financial thing to the banks. You know, they were giving the money to the banks. The banks are not giving it back. I'm not squeaky clean. I mean, I am a genuine law-abiding citizen who wants to move forward, wants to move his business forward. One of my businesses is bed and breakfast. I told a few people here today that many a time my wife and my one son and myself slept on the floor to make way for guests. We have had no guests since October. We have had one inquiry this year so far, and we have one booking this year so far, and that booking is not until the 11th of July. So the thing is, we put a planning application in, and we fought with the planners to get the permission to build an extension, a 4-bedroom extension, because we were so stuck for room. We got the plans approved, we got the job started, and then there was no finance. Because whenever our house was full and there was guests in it every night of the week, we were able to continue on with that extension. Now the guests have gone. We have no money to continue, and now we have a building that's only part of the way up, and we can't go any further. So I need the bank, and I need the bank to lend me money, and also possibly the government to underwrite that debt for a period of time. That is basically it. I need someone to underwrite it, someone to say, if I don't pay it, I will pay it. I'm an honourable man, I'm a businessman, I am honourable, I will pay that debt, but I need someone to underwrite it for me.
Can I just follow that with a question on the same? I'm sorry, we were asking you all the questions now, but really just wanted to follow that up. When you go to the bank and say you need this help, are they saying to you, there is a government scheme in place to guarantee lending to small businesses, but we don't think it applies to you? Or are they saying, we're not aware of the scheme?
They say that they have heard it's in the pipeline, but they haven't heard officially yet as to what is happening.
Yeah, there's the Enterprise Finance Guarantee Scheme, and that has been announced, as well as I think Ulster Bank announcing £250 million for SMEs. But the Enterprise Scheme, that's causing concern. Eddie McGrady MP has written to me before our visit here and pointing out the concerns on that. So that's one thing we're taking back.
I went to an Invest NI meeting in Lauren just a few weeks ago. I can't remember, some date in February anyway, and I sat there for about half an hour and listened to all the various different speakers speaking, and to me it was all gobbledygook. I mean, if you're not squeaky clean, you are not going to make it. It's that simple. You are not going to get any help if you're not squeaky clean.
Well, we're reporting back to the banks here as well after this, so we'll take that message back. Thank you.
Well, the representatives of the Treasury Select Committee heard evidence from others as well, and after the meeting I caught up with John McFall and I asked him what the committee thought about what they'd heard.
I think there are common themes. For example, businesses talking to us about the lack of finance flowing to them. And I've made the point for months, along with the Governor of the Bank of England, that the biggest economic issue facing this country is getting lending going again. We've heard this morning in Northern Ireland. I'll be taking that back both to the individual banks and to the government and pressing them and saying we must get that lending flowing again.
It was a listening job today. Will there be action applied afterwards?
Well, the committee are producing a report at the beginning of April, and the first element of that report is the banking crisis inquiry. We've heard today about the business problems, the macroeconomic problems, the issues facing homeowners. That's very, very relevant to our inquiry, which is coming out in a month's time.
And of course, a lot of mention of the Presbyterian Mutual Society. What can you do?
Well, there's an issue here regarding corporate governance in the Presbyterian Mutual itself. The fact it's not in the compensation scheme. But the big issue that struck me today is that those affected by it don't know each other. They have no support group, they have no network, and I've been suggesting that they do get that network so they can advertise through the media and others that they have a meeting where everybody comes together or do it in the net. The Icelandic Bank support group, they have done that and they're lobbying us as Treasury Committee, and I think if people get together here, A, it makes them more aware of the issues and the problems, but B, it provides counselling and a network for people in helping them through these difficult times.
And of course the committee has rather publicly chastised the top men in banking in the UK. Are you meeting any of the local chief executives behind closed doors, and what will you be saying to them?
Well, I'm going back to the chief executives after hearing the concerns I have today on the businesses and putting a point to them that, look, things aren't going along the ground here as they should be. Let's get a move on.